And this speaks to Jesus in John 3 with Nicodemus. I have a lot of things to tell you. And he says, now, if I've told you earthly things and you can't believe, how will you believe when I tell you heavenly things? So what that means is, to me, is that I've told you parables and, like sowers and farmers and seeds and birds and rocky soil and flowers and, I've told you all this stuff and you guys are having to like, Jesus, what are you saying to us, And Jesus is saying, all of this is earthly parallel, earthly stories that have a parallel in the spirit realm.
Yeah.
But he says, I want to take you to a place where there will be no earthly parallels. I won't be able to show you something on earth to prove what I'm doing in the heavenlies.
Yes.
And if you want an example, think of Peter. Jesus is out on the water. Peter's in a boat. And Jesus is out there and Peter says, I want to be where he is. Had that ever been done before? Was there an earthly parallel, earthly precedent of that ever happening before?
No.
Not that we know of. Axe handles or axe heads have floated, but as far as I know, I don't think there have been people walking on water. So it had never happened. There was no earthly precedent for this in history. So Jesus wanted to take Peter. Of course, Jesus put the thought in Peter's mind. Jesus knew this was going to happen. And so he put the thought in Peter's mind, I'd like for Peter to come out where I am. Now, did Peter go out because, oh yeah, I saw that happen before, I know I can do it too? No, that ain't it. Then why could Peter do it? Because, and this is the key point where we are right now, God, in his wonderful wisdom, is helping us to get secure in his love and wisdom for us. So that now we don't need earthly things to prove what he wants to do. Now we can just believe his voice, because his voice has been proven to us to be believable. Our history with him is sufficient now to carry us not by things, but by the voice. And that's what was true with Peter. And so Peter, because this principle is so powerfully needful, Peter says to Jesus, Jesus, if that's you, tell me to come. Why was that important to Peter? Because Peter knew Jesus had never, ever, ever, ever lied to him. And Jesus already told him to do things that Peter had never done before, like heal the sick and cleanse the leper and raise the dead and stuff like that. Peter never done it. He was just a smelly fisherman. And he'd already believed, Jesus already proved that Jesus' voice was believable. And so Peter knew that if I can hear you say for me to come out there, then based on all the other past history, then I can do it too, even though it's never been done in history.
There you go.
We have been a church that's been largely built upon earthly parables. Mm-hmm. Our preachers preach parables all the time. We go, well, let's go to the parable of the sower. Let's go to the parable of the prodigal son, and so we preach things based on earthly paradigms. And they're true and they're real. But it's really infantile Christianity.
Yes. Wow.
It's baby Christianity. Because God wants to take us to places where there's nothing that we can look for. You can't see evidence in the natural realm for what he's telling us to do in the spirit realm. You can't do this on the first day. It takes history. It takes relationship. It takes eye-to-eye contact and consistency. And pretty soon when Jesus says, I'd like for you to teleport to Timbuktu. Of course I can do that, Jesus. I've never done that before, but I can do that. See, it's no problem, because why? Because now it's not based on a mental thing of, I gotta see it to believe it. That's what us Missourians do, right? Show me state.
Yep. For sure.
We better just nix that thing like, wrong answer.
That's right.
No, we need to step into, okay, Jesus, you said it. Okay, I can do that. We quote the verse, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. At least all those things that I can see. All those things that you can show me or prove to me are true, right?
Yeah.
All those things that are out there somewhere and somebody's done it before. Or do you really mean all? God, I believe with all my heart, really, really, truly, this really, really compels me. We're going into kingdom age, whatever they end up calling it, we'll know in a couple hundred years. Whatever they end up calling this new age, we're going there, and it will require us to learn to live in this realm that we're talking about, living by the voice, not having to live by sight. We talk about it. Walk by faith, not by sight. See, all this stuff is in our theology. But it was just kind of good rhetoric, you know. It was good preacher fodder, you know, sermon fodder. And did it have any application to a limited degree? Yes, but I tell you, God's opening it up to us, and it's beginning to make a whole lot of sense.